Hello, Internet. I am here. All right. This is only 5 days late. If you had seen my header photo for the video, I originally had this as September 25th, back when things were happening with WGA getting their deal done and all that stuff. But I have been sleeping through the day the last week or so. And because of that, I never got around to that stream. Or the next day when I planned to do it again, or the day after that. And now here we are 5 days later. So hello, Cal. Hello, Demas. Hello, anybody else that may be just coming in. Yeah, so we'll chat a little bit. I know Eric has a stream later today. I think it's in an hour. Maybe 2 hours. I can't remember. I'll have to check. But I will wrap this up shortly before he starts his, like 5 minutes before he starts his. Give you guys time to go have like a bathroom break or get some food or something, whatever. But yeah, I'll be here probably till shortly before his starts, and then I will be over there hanging out watching his. But hello, Laura. How you doing? Fortunately, you were right, my friend. About which part? I mean, I'm always right, but which part was I right about this time? You know what? Give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to open my windows. It's actually kind of warm in here today. We're kind of in a time of year where during the daytime it's still a little warm, and at night it's kind of getting cool. So kind of sometimes forget about it until I realize I'm sitting here being a little warm. All right. You're glad Paigey is okay? Yeah, I am too. I actually had reached out to Eric and asked him, you know, what all he might have known and all that, and I told him what I was able to find out, because I think it's not a secret to anyone that because of the type of jobs I do and even like the hobbies I have, you know, finding people is kind of a thing I'm not bad at. So I had told him, you know, a couple of things I could scratch off the board. And yeah, so then he had that update literally a few hours after I had told him that. So that's good to know. I mean, I don't think in the context of the world we know, like, I don't think we're going to be seeing Paigey for a while. By the way, Eric was talking. But yeah, he's okay. That's the only thing that matters, you know. So yeah. Doing well. WGA settled SAG after next. Yeah, I mean, so I have hopes that the SAG-AFTRA deal won't take much longer, because WGA has done the heavy lifting. They got the pieces sorted out. They have sorted out, you know, some of the things as far as like residuals for streaming service. They've sorted out some of the stuff as far as AI and things like that. And those are some of the sticking points for the actors. And I am hoping, because they have gotten that part done, that it will make it 5 times faster for the actors to get theirs done, you know? I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful theirs won't be too much longer. But yeah, we won't know until we hear some more solid confirmation than what we have right now. All we know is that they're meeting, I think this upcoming week they're supposed to meet. So fingers crossed some action starts to happen with that. Hey, Abby, how are you doing? Have I watched The Continental? No. I am way behind on a lot of things. I have only watched 2 episodes of Ahsoka. I almost watched the 3rd episode last night, but I was starting to get tired, so I decided to just cut it off at 1. So I am 2 whole episodes in on Ahsoka and haven't watched anything of The Continental yet, which is a shocker when you realize like that the John Wick series of movies is probably in my top 5 favorite franchises. So it's a little surprising I haven't watched that yet. I got a lot of little things going all at the same time, and they're all just distracting me enough that I haven't got fully on there. That's a Demos. It is a different Laura. The Laura you're talking about is Laura E, who is right above your comment. Laura V doesn't play. Yeah, so I've got just a pile of little things that are just taking little bits of my attention, but no one is like it's not like dominating my attention. Like I had a order that I sent out a month ago, came back today, that should have made it to the person's destination, but it never did. But thankfully it came back to me, so I can resend it back out. I've had like little things like that to deal with. I've got all the stuff from the flash sale still. I'm still dealing with selling some of those things off. I have prepping for the flash wardrobe sale, which I now at least have a day for it. It's October 21st. Then I have just things in, immediate life that are just, everything's taking just little nibbles out of me, keeping me distracted long enough that I'm not catching up on like shows and stuff, So yeah, I'm a little behind on things. What else is there? Hope actors strike ends soon. Yeah. Except AI for the actors. I hope they will accept their demands. AI is the stickler. I think AI for actors is going to get resolved similarly to the WGA. Obviously, they have two different types of AI they're using. One is for writing, one is for physical recreation of a person's voice or image. But I think because of the fact that we now have a loose idea how the WGA one works, that will transfer over some of that to the actors one, and that will be just, a commonplace agreement across all things. Hey, Destroyer, how you doing? Welcome. I think because of the fact that is now the status quo for writers, that will be a very close to status quo for actors. There might be some small little pieces here and there that slightly differentiate, but it will be probably like 80% the same idea. Where was I? Excuse me. What did you think of the first 2 episodes of Ahsoka so far? Okay. I think I would call it above average, but I wouldn't call it amazing. Like, I'm not sitting there clearly by the fact I haven't binged through it, because when I do get like just wrapped into a show, I will binge watch that show in 2 days. It hasn't sucked me in enough that I've finished it, right? I'm 2 episodes in. I'm not hating it, but I'm not sitting there being like, okay, I want to just jump right into the next one, What else we got here? Katie McGrath is in Continental. Yeah. She plays the adjudicator. That is the only thing I have seen in my what's happening section on Twitter for like the last month, is because Twitter, they show you on the what's happening list things that they think you're going to be interested in. Since obviously I've tweeted about her a lot over the years because of her working here, they have this impression I give a shit about that. And so she has shown up in my what's happening like 20 of the last 30 days. It is retarded. Same with like the Supernatural guys, like Jensen, Supernatural itself. Anything to do with shows that are filmed here keeps showing up in my what's happening feed, and it's just exhausting, Hopefully she's good in it, because I feel like at some point I will run across her, because she has been living in Vancouver since the end of Supergirl. I have a feeling at some point I will run across her again and get some stuff signed. and it would be nice to have stuff besides just Supergirl to get signed. Haven't watched the Boys spin-off Generation V yet? No. I didn't even know it was out till like a day or two ago. So no, I haven't. James Gunn confirmed that I don't even know how to pronounce his first name, but I know who it is. Will continue as Blue Beetle in the DCU. Cool. Do you have like, was that in a tweet or something? That's cool if that's like a confirmed thing. Where did you see it? I'm just kind of skimming through his tweets. I'm not immediately seeing something, although I mean it could be in the reply section and I might not see it. Gary's here. Gary, hello, how are you? Hey, how are you? Hey, how are you? Thank you, Gary. It is a little warm here, to be honest. I'm not even joking. I mean, it's not Texas in the summer warm, but it is warmer than it should be here almost October. I don't know what the temperature is today, but it's in the high teens, low 20s, and it's been like mid-teens, low teens all week. So this is warmer than I have been used to the last few days. How are you doing, Gary? Welcome. How you doing? Yeah, it's if you have a source got James Gunn confirmation there, Abby, I'd love to see it. Just check it out myself. I'm just looking at his Twitter and I'm not immediately seeing it. It was in reply section, I think, in Threads. Oh, I don't even have Threads. I'm not gonna get a Threads account until they disconnect it from Instagram. But he himself confirmed it along with the return of Viola Davis and Peacemaker. Okay. Yeah, I'm waiting for them to disconnect Threads from Instagram, and then I'll get a Threads account, but I'm not going to get an account that is physically connected to another account. Like, I don't need a knockoff Instagram account, you know? But, yeah, that's good to know. I mean, I loved them in the movie. Like, the whole family dynamic in Blue Beetle was great. I don't know if there's ever been a movie I've watched where I can say every character in the family I ended up liking. Usually there's just one that I'm kind of like, oh my God, would they shut up? But that didn't have it in this one. And yeah, so good to hear that he at least is continuing on. And hopefully they will bring in other people from the family to continue on. Hey, Maya, how you doing? Welcome. All right. Any other topics that, we haven't talked, of course, in a few days. So Stephen Amell is currently unemployed. Yeah, his show, the show that he got in trouble for scabbing for, Heels, got canceled. Oh no. I find it funny that he went through all this trouble of scabbing for the show, possibly doing detrimental harm to his career, and then the show gets canceled anyways. Like, that is just comedic gold on a level you can't even, like, imagine. I mean, that guy just... He makes some interesting decisions. I'll say that. Oh yeah, so Eric starts at 2:30, by the way. So that is 40 minutes from now. So approximately 35 minutes from now, I will end this one so that you guys can have a break, get ready, and go over to his. I'll link it in the description if you have no idea what I'm talking about. I don't know who here doesn't know Eric's Reloaded, but yeah. Do I think Superman and Lois is going to get delayed later than June? Maybe. I think that is a fair possibility there, Gary. I think because they won't even start filming until 2024 at this point, like January of 2024, I could honestly see them holding the show over until the fall 24 season. So, like October of 2024, it might come out and play through to the end of 2024, like December 2024. So I could see. I thought it's at 6:30. It might be 6:30 your time, Maya, but it is 2:30 my time, which is in 40 minutes. But using Blue Beetle, I sent it to you in DMs. Okay. I will check that. Thanks, Laura. I don't know who YO News is. Never heard of this source. But I'm assuming, based off of what Abby is saying in this, they're just reiterating what they saw from his Threads post. So, so many pop-ups. Holy cow. Okay, I'm closing that down. I got like 4 pop-ups on there. That was exhausting. But yeah, Gary, I think you're probably going to be waiting later than June. I'm not going to say 100% for sure, but I'd be a little surprised if you get it before June. I will just be blunt. I don't think we're getting Superman and Lois in the current 23-24 TV season. Hey, don't be sorry, Laura. You don't know, like, it might have worked perfectly fine on your computer and different, like, ad blockers and that. Just, you never know how these things are going to be. I don't, no big deal. Yeah, I checked 40 minutes at start. Yeah. What else is there that was happening recently? Oh, all the talk shows are going to be starting back up this upcoming week. So, I mean, if you have been starved for fresh, new content, there'll at least be some talk shows starting up this week. I was a little surprised by that because I would assume some of those guys were members of SAG-AFTRA, but I guess not. I don't know. I thought they would be SAG-AFTRA members, but I guess not. Either that or there's some legal loophole about talk shows not being under that umbrella of content. But yeah, we've seen messages from like Last Week Tonight, Stephen Colbert, a couple of the others have all said like they're starting up this upcoming week. So that's good to know. There'll be some new things. There'll be some, content at night at least and during the daytime. Let's see, Man of Lois. Everyone is about 6 months behind due to the strikes. Regular series shows this from the industry. Okay. So last season, at the end of last season, Tyler told me he had hoped they would be back to work at the same time as they did for season 3. And that was about September. So March? Rough estimate of when they would start? Rough estimate? You're delayed 3 more months? Yeah, I'm not surprised to hear that. I mean, there's so many pieces that can't move until other pieces can move. Yeah. Has anyone watched Jesse L. Martin's new show yet? I have not. As with many things, I am behind on everything right now. To be honest, I kind of would be surprised if I do watch it, even though I do like police drama type shows and stuff like that. But I have so many things on my plate right now, I would personally be surprised if I get around to watching it. But I do have a short video I still haven't put up, not even on my Patreon. I got to get around to that eventually. It's for episode 6 though, so I got a couple weeks to save up for that. But yeah, that show had to go on hiatus for filming because of the fact it was still filming when the actor strike dropped, so they didn't even get to finish. Eli, no, I don't, Gary. And the reason for that is I know she has a tattoo, and I don't like tattoos, so that's a no for me, just like right off the bat for that. So no. I'm assuming by the fact that you asked, though, you do think that. Yeah, exactly. Everyone has to be free to work until then. We are still stalled. Yeah, I think you probably are also in that position where there's probably people that I don't know what the casting situation has been like. I know you've got your lead and all that stuff, but I don't know if there's other people you've reached out to for some roles, and they're like, hey, that sounds interesting, but they're also sitting there going, but I'm going to wait and see what's available once the strike is ended. Like there might be someone, they're like, I like the sounds of that, but if I can get this job on this show that's going to run for 7 seasons, I might, want to do that instead, right? Understandable. It's a business after all. But yeah, that's holding everything up. Everything's going to be held up, regardless where you are in the industry. Thank you, Cal, for the 99 cents. I don't know if there was anything attached to that. I didn't see one if there is. Yeah, there's not. Nope, no one can cast during the strike. Agreed. Yeah. So everything's just sitting there in a holding pattern. I guarantee you, once the strike is ended, and I mean ended as in like not just agreed upon, not just a contract has been created. I mean they have put it to a vote and it's been ratified. Once that happens, you're going to see so many pieces flying in the first 96 hours, like the first 4 days after the strike. You're going to see every day there's going to be a list of like, this person signed on this person signed on that person signed in here, this person has left this project to go to this project has been this, and this person's done this person's changed agencies to get this role on this thing. It is just going to be chaos for like 4 days. Then it'll cool off a little bit, but there'll still be always a trickle down of things coming out. I gotta say, I am surprised because I know all of you that were watching me for a while. I thought the actor strike would end before the writer strike. I really did, and I was wrong. I was right. I was right about when the actor strike or the writer strike ended. I said it would be in the fall, and we were technically barely in the fall. But I said the actor strike would end in the spring or in the summer, and we didn't get that done in the summer. So, are you going to continue watching Rick and Morty with the voice actor change? I didn't even finish last season of Rick and Morty. I got really close. I think I'm missing only maybe the last episode or so. I don't even remember anymore. It's been so long. I mean, we'll see. I don't know. Mr. Benoit supposedly said in a $499 cameo, she videotapes to a person of 1.5 minutes talk about grifters who would like to be the new Supergirl for DC movies. Doubtful. I mean, I know I don't have to explain this to you, but she's saying what she knows the person that spent $500 on that wants to hear. Let's be honest. Let's just be honest at the end of the day. If someone's paying you $500 for a minute and a half video from you, unless they're asking for something grossly offensive, you're just going to tell them what they want to hear. If someone had messaged her and be like, oh, do you think you would like to be in the next Fast and Furious movie? She's probably going to be like, yeah, sure. Like, she'll just say whatever she thinks the person wants to hear, right? It's $500 for a minute and a half, which is preposterous. What I find funnier is Chris charges more than her. Can you imagine the fact that Chris Wood charges more than Melissa Benoist for a cameo? That's insane to me. I don't even know how to explain that to people. Is there anything else I haven't thought of that needs to be brought up? He's a total loser? Yeah. I kind of agree with you there. I mean, she's not the most wonderful person, but he is 3 times worse. Because he's got no reason to have that ego. She at least was the lead of a semi-successful show. He's just the hanger-on and dog walker, you know. And he always had more of an ego than she did, and now charges more than she does for a video. It is just an insane thing. I'll be honest, I'm not surprised, but I am still shocked that anyone would pay Melissa $500 for a 1.5-minute chat. Just still blows my mind. I'm not shocked, but I am surprised. Dog walker, well, that's what he was. Like, the majority of his time in Vancouver was spent here to walk the dog and be at home when she got home, I guess. I'm not saying that. By the way, I know it sounds disrespectful, and it kind of is, but I'm not saying that to be mean. That was literally what he was here doing, and he didn't seem, hurt by it. Like, if he was, I'm sure there would have been like a breakup, but, he seemed perfectly fine hanging out in Vancouver doing nothing. So, this is why I laugh. 1.5 minutes. Yeah, well, most of those Cameo prices are preposterous. I remember when Cameo first started out, they had some actual, like, real celebrities on there at the time, but the prices were like $20 for a Cameo. And, as time's gone on, they have turned it into a business similar to, like, the meet and greets for rock stars or photo ops and autographs at a convention from actors. When you go to, like, a convention to meet an actor, your interaction time with 75% of these people is like 6 seconds, man. You walk up to the table, they grab the item, sign it, and someone is herding you out to move on for the next person to get in line. And when you do a photo op, same thing. You might say to them, like, oh, I want to do this pose this way. And they'll be like, okay, sure. But as soon as that photo op is done, they're getting you the hell out of there to get the next person in. Same when you do a meet and greet for, like, a musician. They're not sitting there in their back room like you see on Wayne's World, just hanging out, chilling, having a drink. You're there. You get to, like, hang out in a little room with 14 other people. The entertainer comes in for like a minute, says hi, might do a photo op with the whole group, not a solo photo op, and then leave. Like, these things have gotten so greedy and grifty. It's not even funny. I would not do Cameo as it is grifting. Yeah, I mean, it's literally looking at your fan base and going, what's the most amount of money these people will give me just to see my face? That's literally all you're doing, I respect the ones that they will, like, still do those things, but they do it for cause, or they do it for an event or something like that, instead of just, like, being on Cameo, give me my $500 and I'll never tell you where I spent that money. Like, so through Instagram, when Batwoman was still here, Javicia and Rachel did a thing for a dog, a couple of different dog things they did. But one of them was like, if you make a donation, they'll read your name out in a post or something like that. And I even, like, because I responded through Rachel's, I even said to her in my reply, I'm like, you don't have to send me out a thank you. Like, I don't need it, whatever. She still did it anyways. And, like, they didn't ever have to do that. They could have just been like, hey, fans, can you help us out with this person with a dog that needs help? And they still would have got the money probably. and would have never had to put in their time. But, you know, they told people like, hey, if you donate to this thing, we will send you a thank you. And they all did, you know. I respect that type of service. When you're charging someone $500 for a minute and a half of your time, you don't, and the person doesn't have, like, the person's not getting anything out of it. They're getting a minute and a half video that doesn't actually mean anything. Like, it's not, I don't know, man. I find that service just, I hate it. Did you see that Stephen Amell started that Instagram subscription? Yeah, I heard about that too. Yeah, let's talk about good old Stephen. He's now charging people money to see what he has to say on Instagram. You can go to his live chats on Instagram if you're willing to pay him. Yeah. Cameo takes 20%. Wow, that's a high rate. That's actually a pretty high rate, eh? Maybe that is why they charge so much. I mean, that's definitely still part of it for sure, no doubt about it. 20% of 500 is still $400 for a minute and a half, though. You know. Yeah. So I mean, that's still a preposterous amount. But yeah, Amel, he started doing live chats on Instagram for people that are willing to pay for whatever the membership is on Instagram. And I laughed when I heard that. It is convenient that he just did this a few weeks before his show got canceled, maybe even days before, almost as if he knew this was coming and he's like, I need to find a new way to get some money. You know? This man really sabotaged himself very much. He did. He won't be getting, invited to a lot of auditions that he might have gotten invited to a year ago. You know, he'll still get work because there will be some producer, some studio exec out there that'll like the fact that he was anti-union and will hire him for that reason. But what's going to happen is they will have trouble getting other people to come and work on the project along with it. They'll have to make their decision. Do we want Stephen Amell and the few thousand fans he can still bring in, or do they want to get 3 or 4 actors that they kind of liked more? You know, it's gonna be that type of thing. Stephen was at Toronto Con and now doing con circuits. Oh, he's always been doing conventions. He has probably done more conventions than like 93% of the entertainers out there. He's always at them. I think he's done Vancouver like 2 or 3 times, and no one does Vancouver more than once. So, you know, it just is what it is. That's part of his thing. What are we at? 2:08. Got about 15 to 20 more minutes to drag me through this and get us to the finish line before Eric's stream starts. Trying to think if there's anything I haven't talked about that needs to be discussed. I don't have any hot topics off the top of my head to talk about. Anyone got anything that I might be missing? No, I don't have anything else in the list of things. Do you guys want to just end it here, or do you have any last minute topics and whatever? I'm honestly run out of topics to talk about so soon. I thought the topics I originally had would get me through to like now, and then I would start having other topics that you guys had brought up to talk about, but I seem to have nailed everything out pretty quick. I got to learn to talk slower, maybe. Did you see that there is a streaming lobbying alliance? I heard about this. I mean, that is one of the worst things you can possibly think that could happen. There's a lot of money in those services, and we know that Congress loves to be bribed. That is really bad news. Do you know what the Flash wardrobe is? Do you know what the Flash wardrobe is? I feel like something's missing in your sentence. Do you know what the Flash wardrobe is? Curious if it is all Flash. Do you mean the wardrobe sale later this month? If that is your question, no. It is a combined sale with the Flash and Riverdale. I am not happy about that, by the way, because that's going to draw in Riverdale fans. That's going to obviously draw in Flash fans. That's going to draw in the people that were coming just to look for a deal. And that's just going to draw a much larger crowd than if it was for one sale. I'm not happy about it. Streaming Innovation Alliance. Yeah, I heard about this. That's not good. Not good news. I don't know what their long-term agenda plan is, but it's not good for any of us. Is it all from the Flash? No. As I just said, it's a Flash/Riverdale sale. I don't know why. I'm not happy about it. But that's what they decided to do. I mean, I understand it from their side. Their side is we have two sales we have to do. Let's combine them into one so we don't have to pay for staff for two different sales. I understand their logic on it. I'm not happy about it. No other Arrowverse shows? No. Other Arrowverse shows would have been done whenever they were done, wherever they were done. Like Batwoman's was done. They did Batwoman like 3 months after the show ended. There was never a Supergirl sale. There was never an Arrow sale. Legends was done by a different company. Am I missing a show? No, I've named them all. So, like, there's two companies that are in town that do this stuff. The one that's doing the Flash sale does the vast majority of sales, and then there's another one that gets, a handful of things here, a handful of things there. But yeah, I mean, Arrow never did a sale. Supergirl never did a sale. Batwoman's was a couple months after it ended, and Legends was done by the other company. So, yeah, each sale is done individually because they're not. It's not like Warner Brothers is doing a sale. It is the studio for the Flash that's doing the sale. They're literally like, we need to get this shit out of our warehouse. Sell it for us. We need that space. Do you think it's a result of the writers and actors strike? Yes, I do. I do think this is a reaction to that strike. Without it, would they ever have needed to try and bully Congress into trying to game the system for them? No, because the system was already gamed for them. Yeah. Is Katie Lotz a couple with Ruby Rose? They seem pretty close on Instagram. No. Katie Lotz is married. Katie Lotz got married a while ago, right? Not unless she already got divorced. I know they kind of had a thing going on there for a while, like back when Ruby was still here, but they haven't been like hanging out together for a long time that I'm aware of. I don't know. But no, Katie got married a long time ago. So they are trying to connect all the streamers. No, they're trying to lobby Congress to make things easier for them to fuck people over. I don't remember. There was 3 studios. I think it's Netflix, Disney, and something. Or no, not Disney was one of the ones that didn't want in. It was Netflix, Apple, and somebody have all got together and created a lobby group to try and bribe politicians into giving them favorable deals so that they can fuck over people down the road. And when I mean people, I mean not just their crew, us too. They will absolutely 1,000,000,000% use this to justify higher rates, limits on how you can use the services, and all this other shit. All of this will eventually become light of day, you know. Whether that happens in 2 years or 5 years or 8 years, to be determined, but it will be eventually. Yeah. They didn't do this because they're like, you know what? We think this will be better for the consumer. No, they're doing this for themselves. But yeah, I did see about that, and as soon as I saw it, I'm just like, yep, no one's surprised by that. As soon as they had 2 strikes on the go, 3 if you would include, they had the Directors Guild strike also shortly before all of this happened that they did resolve quickly. So they've had 3 strikes in the last year, and then they have the animators who I think are either going on strike or went on strike or something. They're in a position where they're suddenly having to like give up some of their empire, and they're not happy about it. Yeah, it is an ugly time for them right now, and they're panicking, and their panic, obviously, instead of just being fair and being like, hey, well, instead of being grossly wealthy to the point that we'll never be able to use all the money we made, they're not happy with just being so rich that we can buy a new yacht every week. You know, they're just, yeah. I don't even know where to go with that anymore. They will always find a way to fuck over somebody, and it is 100% of the time going to be the consumers. 75% of the time, probably someone in their staff. The only reason they don't fuck them over more is because of unions. If they didn't have unions, they would be screwing over all of the actors and writers and everybody else through the chain of command as much as they could. Like, that's just like when I used to tell you guys about the Vancouver deals. Like, when you shoot a show in Vancouver, if you want to do a scene that is not in Vancouver, that wasn't agreed upon before you set out to do the show here, like when Batwoman filmed here, they already had an agreement that we're shooting in Chicago sometimes. But if you came here, did a show, you've been shooting the show here for 3 years, suddenly you got like want to do a big scene with one of the actors that used to be on the show, but they're like, I don't want to come back to Vancouver. You need to get permission to film that scene outside of Vancouver, and you have to pay off everybody that would have worked that day, because their unions have that in their deal, you know. Do you think Superman and Lois season 4 will be the last? Hard to say, Cal, until we see any sign of what's going on with the world the way it is. No one knows this. Nobody at all knows what's going on with that. Especially me. I mean, you know, if things were a normal world right now, and you know, shows were just filming normally in that, I might have half an idea what's going on. Excuse me. I can't tell you what's going on because the people I would usually talk to, they have no idea what's going on. You know, so yeah, you won't know anything about that until we start hearing some things about the new landscape of television and all of that stuff. If I were to bet on it right now, I'd say no. I think there will be some type of 5th season, whether it is on HBO Max or elsewhere. I think Superman and Lois is a strong enough property, and they won't have a Superman movie for 2 or 3 more years. They will squeeze it out 1 extra year, you know. Very possible Cat a lot. Very possible Cat a lot has been changing with these strikes. Shows getting canceled. Oh, Cal. Okay, I understand. Okay. It's always a possibility, but I actually think because there's no I think what's going to happen, I think one of the fallouts that writers don't realize and the actors won't realize until it's all dust is settled is there's going to be a lot less work. Studios are not going to go out and make 48 projects a year anymore. They're going to make 35 projects a year because they're going to be like, we need to centralize our money into less things so that we aren't spreading all of this all over the place. Hey, Scott, how you doing? You got here just in time. I'm wrapping in 5 minutes. Let me see what your super chat says. How far into Ahsoka? You like it? I am 2 episodes in. I know I told you in my reply yesterday I might get to a 3rd episode, but I was just too tired to continue on, so I did not do a 3rd episode yet. It's okay. I'll be honest. I'm not wowed by it. It's okay. I like it. Like, I'll probably still continue it, but it's not a show where, like, at the end of the episode, I'm like, oh my god, I have to see the next one right now. Like, it's not that type of show, right? It's not a show that you get to the end of the episode and you're like, I need to know right now what's going to happen in the next episode. But it's okay, yeah. You know, I'll still end up probably finishing the series eventually, but yeah. How you doing? Welcome. Yeah, we're wrapping in 4 minutes, guys, so that you guys can all have a few minutes to get your go get a bathroom break or whatever to go over and check out Eric's stream. It gets it gets really good episode 4 and onwards. Okay, well, hopefully it does. I still remember when everyone was telling me, oh yeah, just keep watching WandaVision. WandaVision gets better, and it never did. Like, I'm not saying, by the way, Ahsoka is bad. Ahsoka is better than WandaVision, but that used to be a sales pitch people were trying on me with WandaVision. They're like, just wait till the next episode. Just wait till the next. Oh, and I'm just like, it hasn't gotten better. You know? Yeah. How do you guys feel about me wrapping up here about 3 minutes early? That'd give you like 8 minutes to get your stuff together to go pester Eric. Let me get the URL for his stream so that you guys will have that. When are you going to join Eric's stream again? When he feels a need to have me on. At the moment, nothing has been decided on anytime down the stretch. There we go, and let's make that pinned for anyone getting here last minute. Yeah, I talked to Eric last week, but we didn't really discuss much about the idea of coming on anytime soon. So as of right now, I haven't been asked. I think he's got, you know, he wants to start doing a structured thing where he has his guests lined up ahead of time. And I don't know how far in advance he's booking, but he didn't talk to me about any time in the immediate future. So, yeah. Bye, CG. See you, CG. Well, bye, guys. I will be out of here in a second. Thanks for coming by, everyone. As far as GeoGuessr goes, guys, I'll try and do one, maybe tomorrow, depending if I'm still awake by this point in the day. We'll see. This has been usually the time of day I start to go to bed. So we'll see. If I'm up by and alert at like this time tomorrow, I might do a GeoGuessr stream. We'll see. But I don't know. Do not know. I have not been doing many GeoGuessr streams lately because it's just last few I'm literally getting like 2 people in, and I don't you know, it's a lot of effort to set it up and do it and all that stuff. You go to bed at 2 p.m. Yeah, because my sleep schedule is all sorts of messed up. When I don't have anything to do as I do these days, I'll usually stay up till 4, 5, 6, 7 in the morning doing things. And then that turns into 7, 8, 9 in the morning. Then that turns into 10, 11, 12 in the morning. And then before you know it, you're going to bed at 2 in the afternoon. Like when I don't have things I need to go get done day in and day out, I don't end up keeping a very structured sleep schedule. But that's it today. Eric, as you can see in the pinned comment right about there, we'll have a stream in about 5 minutes. I have no idea what he's going to talk about, but you can go over there for more entertainment. And I will see you when I see you again next, which will be in the future, unless you are a time traveler and you have gone back in time to look at my old videos. Until the next one, though, I will see you then. Thanks, everyone, for coming by, and I will hopefully be done Ahsoka by the next time, so that when Scott asks me, I'll have an actual answer. Bye, guys.